The majority of us are amino acid deficient.
This is one of the biggest fucking lies I have ever heard in my entire life in the context of sport and exercise science. This is the kind of make-believe nonsense that pisses me off the most. Folks like Gary Brecka say some good shit, but then other shit they do needlessly complicates your life for a maybe marginal or usually zero net effect. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength. I've been a longtime professor of exercise and sports science, a competitive bodybuilder and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappler, and apparently a wearer of a Broma Stay brand sweatshirt, which you can get on the internet if you go clicking on it. In any case, today we eye laser focus on a Mr. Gary Brecka, who is a famous person who says a lot of things about how the human body works and about what you can do to help your health and performance that I consider speculative, possibly wrong. Today, we are going to try to be respectful and nuanced, but occasionally, at least for comedic effect, and possibly for real, we're getting a little bit persnickety and just a teeny bit mean, but all for the best. Why are we getting a little bit mean? Because some folks, even though they're very well-meaning in some cases, or not well-meaning in others, like Dr. Oz, who just exists to rip people off, they end up saying a lot of wrong stuff. Now, I say my fair share of wrong stuff, but I love it when people call me out on it, especially if their critiques are based in some kind of evidence and or logic. And so today, we're going to be doing a little bit of calling out of Mr. Gary Brecka to see if a lot of his claims stand up to the evidence. Now, he says a lot of really good stuff, and he's definitely one to look at, but he says a lot of stuff that just plain old don't make no sense. Let's get into it and see what we can find. 3, 2, 1, Gary Brecka.
Every one of the professional athletes that I work with, all of what I would call the superhuman athletes that I work with.
I only ever work with people that have legitimate superpowers as well. If you can't lift, you know what I'm saying, a truck and throw it into the moon, you're not on my roster. That's just how I do. I can't have you with regular athletic abilities insulting my shit. Gary, massive respect for only taking the best.
I would be supplementing with a mineral salt in the morning, 10 ounces of water, first thing right out of bed. I would hydrate and mineralize the body.
Yeah, your body controls mineral levels very well. Doing some mineral shit in the morning. By the way, most food has a load of minerals, and if you take a multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement sometime through the day, you solve this problem entirely. Having a mineral salt and putting it into water is just like extra shit you're doing to buffer up that morning routine to 10 fucking hours. It's fucking nonsense.
I use one called Baja Gold sea salt.
I'm sure it's real cheap. If you guys need more salt, just sea salt won't do because you need every single kind of electrolyte, potassium, you need chloride, you need sodium, and in the right amounts, they can be helpful, especially during and after workouts that are very long, very sweaty, and you need to rehydrate for other workouts. If I have that sort of thing where I have lifting early in the morning and then I have jiu-jitsu later in the evening, I want to supplement with Element, which we have a code for, link in the description, and all that stuff. That's actually a good way to do it. If you buy Baja Gold, I'm sure it's a fine sea salt. I'm sure it costs a fucking arm and a leg, and it's missing most of the shit you need in an electrolyte drink anyway.
Stir it with a wooden spoon, not a metal spoon. The metal spoon will interact with the minerals in there, and it will negate some of them.
It's just fucking like tier 1 nonsense. It's tier 1 nonsense. And by the way, Gary, you know that a wooden spoon, these wood particles, some of them come off of the spoon and go into your water. Are we concerned that you're consuming extra wood particles and all the hundreds of different molecules that make that up? Have we studied every single kind of molecule in wood? We mix the wooden spoon in, we're actually drinking it. And wouldn't the salt corrode the wood a little bit, pulling even more of those molecules off where it just doesn't do that to metal? Maybe at all, or to nearly the same extent. This is the kind of make-believe nonsense that pisses me off the most. Folks like Gary Brecka say some good shit, but then other shit they do needlessly complicates your life for a maybe marginal or usually zero net effect. Don't fucking worry about what kind of spoon you're using. This is peak tier 1 insanity.
The second thing that I would do is I would take a full spectrum amino acid supplement. I would take a supplement with all 8 of the essential amino acids.
Dope, Gary, check this out. There are 9 essential amino acids, my man. But whatever, who cares? 11 essential amino acids for developing babies because they can't manufacture some internally that we can, and then 9 for adults and children. 8 is just not anywhere in the fucking literature, so that's just wrong. I could be wrong about that, but it's unlikely. So it's 9, first of all. Second of all, amino acid supplements are generally a fucking waste of time. Why? Because when you eat any kind of complete protein, anything from soy and many vegan products, all the way through every single animal protein, every single kind of meat, any kind of supplement like whey or casein or egg protein, milk, cheese, the whole fucking gamut. When you consume protein from those foods, they digest into all of the amino acids that you need. So instead of buying a super expensive amino acid supplement, you can just eat multiple meals per day with lots of protein in them, like you should be doing it anyway. Period. So consuming some kind of exotic amino acid supplement is a giant waste of money and time.
I take one called Perfect Aminos, but you have one. I mean, as long as it has the full spectrum of essential amino acids. The majority of us are amino acid deficient.
Okay. This is one of the biggest fucking lies I have ever heard in my entire life in the context of sport and exercise science. The majority of us are absolutely not amino acid deficient. There's a term for that. It's called hypoproteinemia. You guys ever see pictures, Google it, of starving children in Africa that have these crazy swollen bellies? That's what happens to you when you don't get enough protein. You are starving. There are almost no starving people in the United States short of people addicted to methamphetamine who just forgot to eat for 2 weeks straight. It does not happen in modern countries. It happens now way less, but still happens in war-torn regions or regions with dilapidated non-market economies that can't feed their people or can't allow their people to feed themselves. That does occur, but it's obvious and it's brutal. It does not happen in modern countries essentially at all. Most Americans get more protein than they need, which isn't a bad thing, but the buffer zone is a real thing. And if you're under eating protein, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to get what's called meat hunger, which is when you want fucking meat. Scott, other than your many, many trips to gay clubs to resolve your meat hunger, you know what I'm talking about? When you just need a fucking burger?
Oh, I know about it.
Oh, well, I didn't say hot dog. I said burger. I suppose some penises are burger shaped. Yeah, I digress. When you have low protein levels, low amino acid levels, your body detects this very well and it gives you meat hunger. And then you go and have a cheeseburger and that for 8 hours in a row will solve any protein problem that you have. So not only is the solution to this not exotic and does not require some kind of weird amino acid supplements that cost a fucking arm and a leg, it's also a problem that does not exist fundamentally in 99.99% of all Americans. So to say that we're all amino acid deficient is tier 1 bullshit. There's no other way to say it. I'm sure there's many other ways to say it. I'm sure ChatGPT could say it in a really polite way. While some people do lack essential protein intake, it's by no means clear that now, see, already that's mean. I can't do it, folks. I can't be that nice.
For people that are really into biooptimization for cellular repair, to restoring what's called vasomotor activity in the body, the microvascular circulation in the body, which by the way is 70% of our circulation. I have a red light therapy bed. It's a full body red light therapy bed. It's $120,000. I don't expect anyone to buy a $120,000 bed.
A little bit of a flex there, my man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shit, I got a red light therapy bed, but your boy paid $240 for the shit. They tried to sell me the cheap shit. I was like, nah, family, I need the most expensive one. And then when they tried to sell me the most expensive one of $200,000, I was like, is there a way you can gold plate the shit? Because your boy does not touch anything that's not either gold, platinum, or diamonds. It took them a while, but they got me the gold plated bed, baby. I'm straight dripping out here.
But if you're going to buy a Ferrari, buy a red light therapy bed before you actually invest in a Ferrari. That Ferrari will do nothing for your cellular biology.
I went on deep on this one, guys. First of all, red light therapy beds. There are some potential modest improvements that you can find in skin health, recovery, pain management, and inflammation. Okay. There could be a potential for better sleep regulation through circadian rhythm assistance, maybe. But the expectations are very modest. And you're not going to get drastic health and performance gains. You might get some marginal improvements in some of these other qualities. It's best seen as a complementary tool if you're already doing all the right stuff and you have $120,000 to piss away. And it will never come up to the magnitude of effect that you see with reducing stress, improving sleep, eating better, and so on down the line. All the stuff you already knew you were supposed to be doing, but you haven't been doing anyway, pimp, because you're out here trying to spend $120K on a red light bed to short circuit the shit. Unfortunately, it just does not work. In addition to that, the dosing of red light from commercial red light therapy beds is often very inconsistent. So you don't even know if you're getting the right amount of dosing, even if you have the product in front of you. And Scott, what am I missing here? Oh yeah, $120,000, which I could have spent on what? The thing is, unfortunately, Ferraris typically, Scott, do not cost $120,000. They cost a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Double, plus.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But if you save up, instead of buying 2 red light therapy beds, you get a Ferrari. He says, you don't get cellular benefits from a Ferrari. Bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. When you are in a Ferrari, either at idle or at speed, you are experiencing low-level, consistent vibration. Scott, is that true?
That's true.
That shit that wets the girls up when you're at the intersection. Isn't that what that is? And the boys, too. Scott, if you hear a Ferrari on idle, is there more blood that goes to your glans penis than usual?
Yeah, I think it's more for the boys. Ferraris are for the boys, you know?
Yeah, the girls don't know. What gets the girls going?
I don't know.
The RP Hypertrophy app comes with dozens of pre-made programs from 2 days of training per week all the way up to 6 days of training, with specialized programs included for shoulders, arms, chest, back, legs, abs, and glutes, each one with male and female options. You get them all and can use them as often as you like, even building off of them to make your own customized versions for only about $1 a day. Click on the link in the description of this video to get started. There are documented effects of vibration on cellular biology. We have bone building and anti-osteoporotic benefits. So exposure to vibration in some intermittent levels can increase bone building and reduce the bone resorption process, which is pretty dope. You can see in some studies very small effects on muscle regeneration and even satellite cell activation, which helps make you more jacked. Some, especially in conditions of injury, you get tendon and ligament healing that gets faster with exposure to vibration. Scott, can you imagine you're in a Ferrari, someone's like, oh, that's so gaudy. You're like, I hurt my leg. I need the car to heal me.
That's sweet.
Instead of, as soon as you check out in the hospital, they're like, you gonna go home? You're like, hell no, I'm going to the track. Girl, I ain't got time for home. I need to heal. It improves low-level vibration circulation and lymphatic flow, which is dope, clears your toxins for you better. It is moderate vibration has been shown to decrease the inflammatory response. And it even enhances cellular proliferation and differentiation in some organ systems, including stem cells in bone. Get them bones, big pimp. You need that Lambo or that Ferrari ASAP. And vibration can influence neural activity, specifically in low frequencies, can stimulate neurogenesis and support brain health. Although high levels of very high frequency vibration, I mean, you know, running that the red line there, Scott, may induce stress or neural fatigue. You know, also induces stress, taking corners at 90 miles an hour.
True.
But for the soul, Scott, is it true to say that every human being has a part of the soul that can be specifically labeled as Italian motorsport?
I don't know about every soul.
Every soul, Scott. Some bigger than others. In Horatio Pagani's case, it's half of the soul.
Yeah.
Maybe all of it. The Pagani. So yeah, it turns out if we're using the Gary Brecka standard of evidence, which is to say use a few low quality studies that don't come to a very large holistic conclusion, the Ferrari actually has distinct health benefits that are comparable to red light therapy beds. So instead of pissing away your money on a red light therapy bed, you know what I'm saying? At least, Scott, do they lease Ferraris? Or that's not how that works.
Oh yeah, you're gonna pay, but you can get it.
You're gonna pay, but you can get it, which is what I say to all the girls. In any case, this is where we're at, folks. 2025, Ferraris are evidence-based medicine if you have the low, very standard of Gary Brecka's scientific approach. Okay, let's move on.
Wow.
Yeah, is that Flex Lewis?
Yes.
Oh, you're fucking, what Flex said. Oh, wow. What he thought. Oh, you fucking liar. You come on me fucking show dissing my Ferrari. It's painted fucking. Scott, quick, what's the Welsh flag colors?
I can only think of Ireland.
Yeah.
Just green and
Yeah.
orange and
Is
white
it-
or whatever.
My Ferrari looks like a fucking dragon. And why fucking wouldn't it? You fucking fuck. Razor blades, eyes. You guys know the rest. You've seen Peaky Blinders.
Oh my God, it actually does have a dragon on it.
Yeah, the Welsh dragon.
Yeah. It's green and white and red.
Green and fucking white. The color of my fucking Ferrari. Yeah, fucking cunt, yo. What accent is that even? Generalized Britain. You Britons, my favorite people. Folks, we're going to be back to the video in just a second, but we have a members area where you get to see this video and many others, except pretty much uncut, much longer, much more in-depth, and much more ranty, and honestly quite meaner. In any case, other stuff is in there as well. Our members area is awesome. Check it out. Go click on things, and let's get back to the video.
The thing that I believe that we need to do is just get back to the basics. We are so afraid of the sun now. It is pathetic.
Yeah.
You look at the parabolic rise in skin cancers.
A parabolic rise? Like it goes up and then back down? That's what a parabola looks like. But whatever. Let's continue.
You can almost overlay it with the parabolic rise in the use of sunscreens.
Scary. Big problem. The claim that sunscreen causes skin cancer is not just unsubstantiated, though it is completely backwards. The amount of evidence we have that for multiple different types of cancers, that sunscreens robustly help reduce the probability of you getting skin cancer is massive. If you put on an appropriate amount of sunscreen and you spend some decent time in the sun, you know, Huberman style, wake up in the morning, look directly in the sun for 8 hours until you're blind, shit like that. All jokes aside, it is good for you to spend some time in the sun for vitamin D production, for overall wellness, especially in the morning if you can do it. But if you're spending an extended amount of time in the sun, especially when it's at high noon, sunscreen is a really, really good idea. But it does beg the question of why have, correctly, skin cancer rates been increasing? There are multiple reasons, and diddly dick have to do with an increased use of sunscreen. A few reasons. One, huge one, improved diagnostics. Back in the day, you just died of some shit. They don't even know why. Nowadays, you're like, oh shit, that guy's got skin cancer. You go to your doctor often, they do a good screening, they're picking up way more skin cancer. If you detect something more, the rise of it is very well demonstrated in the literature. If you're not detecting something, it's still happening at huge rates, but you don't know about it, so it looks like it happens much less. Another thing is we have an aging population. In the literal sense that everyone's always aging, but also the fraction of older people is going up due to demographic stuff. Nothing crazy. But when you have more older people, guess what you have more of? Every single kind of disease. Because guess who gets more of every single kind of disease? Drum roll, it's older people. That's a huge part of why we're seeing more of all kinds of diseases. And a ton of folks like Gary Brecka, unfortunately, will come in and try to tell us it's toxins and all this other shit. Sometimes they're right, a lot of times they're wrong. There's also an increased recreational UV exposure. Back in the day, before World War II, people went to work, they went home, they generally didn't do a lot of outside sporting activities and stuff. People on the farms did all kinds of stuff that was not recreational, and they got skin cancer all the fucking time. Nowadays, especially more and more as people get wealthier, they tend to engage in what I will politely call, all love and respect, folks, white people activities. Scott, let's go through them. Hiking, whites. Mountain biking, whites. Going to the beach, mostly whites. Really everyone, but mostly whites. What else we got, Scott? Tennis.
Oh my goodness, tennis.
Golf.
Ooh, pickleball is the big one now.
Pickleball. If you're in the Austin metropolitan area and you're trying to get laid, go play some pickleball. There's all kinds of young people around doing it. All these other leisure activities that people do outdoors, they're doing them more and more and more, which is awesome. But also, they're exposing themselves more to the sun, and not all of these people are diligent about sunscreen use. Now, look, I'm a giant fucking hypocrite in most ways, but especially with the whole sunscreen thing. I'll have my wife rub it on the top of my head because I'm a balding idiot, on my face and on my nose and all this other stuff, and on my upper chest. Am I really good about re-rubbing it? No, because your boy rubs it another way. You feel me? Multiple times a day, every day. That's really where actual health comes from. I'm kidding, maybe. Could I be better about sunscreen? Yeah, hell yeah. Would it be better for me? Yes, absolutely. But is a high involvement in outdoor activities contributing to increasing rates of skin cancer that have nothing to do with sunscreen? And in fact, if we use more sunscreen, we'd have less skin cancer? Yes, the answer is yes. Another one is ozone depletion. The ozone took a little bit of a hit. We were polluting for a while. Now that's getting better, but it's still not back to where it used to be. And so less ozone means less of a layer of protection. And the sun's just really throwing up, like, instead of 2 middle fingers, now it's throwing up 4. That gets to us, that increases those rates. And so in reality, skin cancer is something that you can, to a huge degree, reduce the probability of getting by properly applying sunscreen. And there is no mechanism by which, nor is there demonstrated evidence of, sunscreen causing skin cancer. This is pure make-believe, and I'm going to put a fine point on it here. Telling people that sunscreen causes skin cancer instead of the fucking sun causing it, with all of its literal radiation it shoots at you, is, I think, mildly irresponsible on Gary's part. Now, we all say some dumb shit every now and again, me included, but I gotta say, man, that's not cool, because some people might take Gary's advice. He's a very popular person, and I would say he is a remarkably good-looking. Scott, what do we think about salt and pepper men in their 50s?
Oh, I mean, come on.
Tier 1.
Silver Fox.
All right. He's like a VP at a corporation. He wears a suit. I see him. I just want my body to be given to him for whatever it is that he wants to do with it. What the hell's wrong with me? Nothing a silver fox can't fix. So Gary's dope. He's really popular, which is great. He says some good stuff. But this kind of shit, man, it doesn't. Because, man, you somehow could get lots of people to stop putting on sunscreen and go out into the sun more without it. And then that would probably cause some of those people to get skin cancer more. And that's not cool. That's not cool at all. All right. That lifted my blood pressure a couple of points. Folks, we had a lot more stuff because we pulled a lot of footage. We could easily have doubled this video. If you want another video on more of Gary Brecka's interesting interpretations of science, he does get some stuff right in some of the stuff we have written up, but we just never got to that because we just got stuck in a swamp full of BS. Let us know. And yeah, lots more to say, but for the time being, I'm just going to say this. It is 100% an awesome thing that Gary's out and about trying to get people to do healthier shit. He did incredible work with Dana White, massive respect. At the same time, we have to hold each other to a decent standard of truth-telling and of falling in line with scientific evidence and logical reasoning. So even though I sound like a cocksucker, because I am, it's all meant with the best to make sure that all of you folks get a real look. Am I trying to dog shit on Gary Brecka? Am I saying he's a bad person? No. Am I calling out some shit I think is false? Yeah. It's all love and respect, but gotta draw the line somewhere. Just voicing my opinion. You listen to Gary Brecka stuff. You listen to my stuff. You plug both ideas into ChatGPT or into Gemini or into whatever Claude, whatever Grok shit that you use. See which person or which view gets the most love from AI. Let me know how that works out. In any case, I rate Gary Brecka a person who does not know how incredibly beneficial Ferraris are to your health out of 10, and I will see you next time. All right, folks, that was interesting. For more interesting stuff, right over here is a video you might be interested in. See you next time.